Doug.
And I'm Cathy.
And this is Maggie Mae.
Mae.
Join us as we follow the moon. Today we are standing in Clarkdale, Arizona, and we want to bring you some of the highlights of three small towns, the historic downtown district of Cottonwood, Clarkdale, and Jerome. But we're going to leave you right now because we've got a train to catch.
That's right.
Now, Clarkdale is just a beautiful little town, as are all three of these. But Clarkdale really expresses its heritage from the little caboose diner there on the corner to the old buildings. And on that far corner there is a museum all about the copper mining industry and how it affected Clarkdale. It's actually inside the old high school building, which I thought was really cool. And wouldn't it be great to be able to buy gas at those prices today?
Oh, it sure would be.
But yeah, it's just a beautiful little, kind of sleepy town.
Yes.
It just reminded me of what a little small town would be like.
Mm-hmm.
The buildings have been there for ages, but they've been repurposed to different things. Beautiful park in the middle of town, nice big park, and Maggie thought that grass was just the best thing ever.
Oh, she did.
Grass is kind of few and far between out here. So we wandered around town for a few minutes, but then it was time to head just to the outskirts of town to the Verde Canyon Railroad. This is something we have talked about doing for a long time as a train ride, especially out west. And make reservations, make them at least a week ahead of time. It does book up. We booked this ride 4 days or 5 days prior, and there were only 7 seats left on it. So they do really fill up. Now, we did order a box lunch, which was a sandwich and chips and a drink. Not really necessary, and we'll show you why. This was our car, the Phoenix. They're nice enclosed air-conditioned cars. They do have some open cars that you can go onto in between so that you can get some good outdoor pictures too. Now there's, along the right-hand side, there's 2 chairs with a table in between all the way down the line. On the left side, there's 2 love seats to seat 4 with a table.
And they looked really comfortable.
Yeah, they were. Now the box lunch was great, but it also had a charcuterie box for each person on there. So it was like food overload. Had I had to do over again, probably the charcuterie box would have been plenty. And there was one for each person. It was a lot of food. The ride itself is about 4 hours. You go about 1 hour and 3/4 up the line and about 1 hour and 3/4 back. The right-hand side, which is the side towards the station, on our car had the seating for 2, and it looked like the right-hand side got the best views.
It did. We were very lucky.
The train itself does not turn around, so what you see on the way up is what you see on the way back. Although heading the other direction, there are things that you see differently.
That's right.
Now that is the slag pile right as you come out of town from the copper smelting. And then you get into some absolutely beautiful scenery. Most of this is shot from the air-conditioned car through the glass. And I did notice a couple bottles of window cleaner sitting in every car. They were making sure those windows stayed clean.
That's right.
The Verde River runs right along, and you can see the train curving and going over a bridge there through Cathy's window. But the scenery is just absolutely incredible. Nice, smooth ride. It goes real nice and slow. But you've got several bridges that you go over, and the views down in are just amazing.
You can see the further you go, the further the river drops below you, and you start descending into the canyon.
and the mountains start to change color. They get more red the further you go.
And this is where it actually starts getting really interesting.
As it seemed like every day when we were in Arizona, the skies were clear. They were, it was warm, but beautiful views. The mountains are looking taller, and he said a lot of this was the optical illusion because of the fact of how far down in the canyon you were going.
Yeah. You can see caves and all kinds of neat stuff up in the nooks and crannies there.
Now, I came outside because we're about to go into a tunnel, and I wanted to capture this here. It's over 750 foot long, and it's a curved tunnel that was dynamite blasted. In places, there's less than 6 inches between the train and the side of the tunnel.
Yeah, they say you do not want to put your arm out there. You will lose it.
That's right. And it goes completely dark in the middle because it is in a curve. You can't see the light at both ends of the tunnel at the same time. And you're in the dark for a good little bit. There you can start to see we're coming out of it. And it is pretty tight. Now those are the two howling wolves sticking their heads up there right at the edge of the train. They were really good too about pointing things out as you went. There was several different rock formations that they named off it, and you could look at it and see that that's what they were supposed to look like.
They also filled you in on a lot of the historical aspects of the area.
Now, when you reach the halfway point, or I guess really the full way point, but halfway in time, they unhook the two diesel locomotives. They switch them over to the rails beside. They hook up to the end of the train, which is where the caboose is, and they bring you back into town. There's an old train station. There was some movie history to this, and I can't remember the movie that was involved, but you'd see the caves up there in the rock. But the water, I'm not sure what you call it, but what fed the steam engines, the water, was actually blown up in one of the movies, and you can see the legs of it there.
Oh, the water tower.
The water tower, is no longer on the top of it. But what an absolutely great way to spend an afternoon.
It was.
This canyon here was just beautiful, and the river runs right along the base of it and makes that curve. There you can see the reflection of the train up going over the bridge there. Now next up, also in Clarkdale, is Tuzigoot. And you can see up there on the hill, Tuzigoot is one of the three big attractions in the area, in addition to Montezuma Castle and Montezuma Well that we've had in another video. But Tuzigoot is an Apache word for crooked water, and this is a remnant of a southern Sinagua village that was built sometime between 1000 and 1400 AD. It is an uphill walk, but it's a very easy walk. It's all paved, and the ruins up here are just absolutely amazing. It's at the top of a summit. It's about 120 feet above the Verde Valley. And it was a 2-story high pueblo. Had 87 ground floor rooms, very few exterior doors for their safety and security. Most of the dwellings were reached by ladders that could be pulled up and through the roof. This was, I thought, really cool though, that they have, you go into this one room, around the wall, and you'll see a staircase over here on the edge, and you can climb the stairs, and the view is just absolutely amazing up here.
The guy that stands up here tells a lot of again, the history of the land and the people that lived there.
They said that there were originally about 50 people there for the first 100 years. Soon after that, the population doubled to around 100, and before it wasn't used any longer, it had doubled again to around 200 people. But there you can see the different rooms and everything. It was absolutely one of the coolest ruins I think we've been to. And again, the views are amazing. It seems like in this area of the country, the views are always amazing. Next up is the small town of Cottonwood. And we actually stayed at an RV park just outside of Cottonwood. If you've missed that video, you want to be sure and catch up on it. But Cottonwood has got a bunch of really just cool, quaint little shops. A lot of the things here are local made, native made.
Mm-hmm. There were some nice little restaurants along their main street.
The Maggie Cam has taken us past one there. At the far end of Cottonwood, they've made this old town square. Looks like it's kind of the party hub on the weekends.
Oh yeah.
This one was all camping stuff. I love the front end of the Jeep there as a bar. I think that is so cool.
It's so colorful.
Mm-hmm. Now next up, we're going up by the town of Jerome, and we're going to start at the Gold King Mine Ghost Town.
This place was amazing.
It is. It's kind of a cross between a museum and a ghost town.
Yeah.
Whoever put this together, you can tell, had a love for automobiles and trucks.
Oh yeah.
Because they're all over the place.
It was fascinating.
It was. There was a look down at some of the trucks that were all lined up. This was a dentist's office. And looking at some of the dental equipment, I think we're lucky we live in the times that we do now.
That's right.
Now there's a little gas station. Those little buildings in between two of them, that's the jail. All outdoors. This was in one of the buildings. I like the old washing machines.
Oh my gosh.
But I'd never seen one like that.
That was my favorite right there.
That washing machine was something. This I took a picture of because this is a Cummins engine. I had to bring it back and show it to our motorhome so it knows that Cummins engines are around for a good long time.
That's right. Reliable.
This was a home there on the property. It was 2-story. Time to change the tires. They're more than 5 years old. They had a working sawmill
Mm-hmm.
there on the property.
There's the old schoolhouse.
I had to laugh at all the typewriters in the old schoolhouse
Yeah.
there. Now, this was a mining town, and that was the mine shaft.
I'm glad they've got that fence around it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a long way down there. Now, this was where they actually took the mine cars down into the shaft, and you can walk back the very first part of this, and then you'll see they've got it blocked off back here at the back, so you can't go on down there. But that was the original shaft with the rails in it where they brought the mine cars. All kinds of equipment. It was pretty fascinating. Now this is pretty fascinating too. This is the Little Daisy Mine. This is also in Jerome. And this is the largest, oldest standing wooden mine apparatus. And they have put some ironwork in there to support it, to make sure that what's there doesn't collapse. But you think back in the times, the turn of the century between the 18 and 1900s, that something like this was constructed.
Yeah.
And they had a turbine generator that's still there on property. And this shaft, the Audrey shaft, was the main shaft. And there you can see how tall it is compared to the Eiffel Tower, the Empire State Building. It's over 1,200 feet, I believe. And there is the actual shaft. You're standing on glass and you can look down it. We want to end up here with showing you downtown Jerome, which I think was probably one of our favorite little downtowns.
It was.
The camera's not at a weird angle, the street's at a weird angle. It's built like on the side of a mountain. Very historic little town, really embraces their history. They have little pieces like the mining equipment along the street there as you go. And again, a lot of local made, native made, handmade items in their shops. Now that you can tell by the look of was a theater, and that is an old original projector from the theater.
The weekends are really, really busy.
Yeah, we got there on a weekend and it had just started to rain, so we went back a day or two later, and the crowds are a lot easier to navigate during the week.
Yeah.
Now, Nellie Bly, this is a famous little store because of the kaleidoscopes.
Oh my gosh.
These are handmade by several different craftsmen, and they're shipped worldwide. They are just some of the neatest pieces of art you'd ever seen. And that's the road coming into town. This is the oldest continuously operating saloon in the state of Arizona. And they do these little historic plaques on the building so you can see what they were. This is a building that was lost to fire, but they've made it into a piece of art. And every one of those arches, that had the fire truck in it, that had metal work in it that I thought was really cool. And the town is built along the side of this mountain. It's amazing. A lot of old hotels, bed and breakfasts, and they all have markers that tell you the history of what the building was. Now, the Jerome Grand Hotel was originally a hospital that was built by the mining companies. And I got a chance to go in there. We didn't stay there, but you can see the long elevator just so the gurneys could be hauled in there. If we weren't in the RV, that would be a cool place to stay. And it's up at the very top of the town. Now we decided to grab lunch, and although this says English Tavern on the outside, this is a barbecue place that was just fantastic. They make their own sauces. We had green chili cornbread,
Yeah.
and you had barbecue chicken. I had a great sandwich there.
And I think macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, the macaroni and cheese was really good. And this is where they smoked all the meat, was right outside. And from the edge of town, you've got a view that just goes on and on and on. Well, Kathy, what did you think of our time in Cottonwood, Jerome, and Clarkdale?
So fun. It is so fun.
It is really, really amazing up here. We've really enjoyed it. We hope you've enjoyed coming along with us. If you have, leave us a thumbs up. We sure appreciate it. And if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please do so. Ring the notification bell, and that way you'll know where all of our adventures take us.
And thank you for following us as we follow the moon.
Thanks for watching today.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel.
And be sure to ring the notification bell so you'll know when new videos come out.
Don't forget to follow us on social media too.